In this fun little exercise, we're going to count all elements with background color, with their background set to a specific color. Okay, so for the experiment, we're going to use the BBC website, but let's start from VS Code. And here I'm first going to say get all the elements that exist on the web page. So let's try to get all elements, and we're gonna save into this variable the result of running document.querySelectorAll, where I'm going to use the asterisk, which is the wildcard for all elements. And then I'm just gonna console log all elements dot length. Okay, so let's now copy this code and go back to our BBC site and run it. And here I can see that I've got 1395 elements right here. Okay, so there are obviously a lot of elements on this web page. Now we'll convert this returned collection, and this is a collection of elements. We're going to convert it into a regular array. So the way that we're going to do it is we're going to save another variable, let's say results array, and we're going to use this syntax to spread the collection into an array. And we're just going to say all elements. Okay. So now if we console log the results array, we're going to get the length of the array instead of the length of the collection. So back in here, let's test out our code, and we're still getting the same number, but now this number shows the amount of members or the number of members in the array. Okay, so now that we've set this up, we can look for our specific value of the background color CSS property. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to move the console log down, and here I'm going to say let match equal to results array dot filter, and the filter is going to take an element, and it's going to set the result to the following code: get computed style, and then element. So get computed style on the element, and then we're going to access background color. And finally, we're going to add a string to it to convert it to a string. And I'm also going to say, is it equal to RGB something? What that something is depends on which color we're looking for. So in our case, let's say we're looking for some kind of a brighter color. So let me just inspect this, and the color is 233.24.2. So if I go here, I'm just gonna paste that value in, and I'm also going to return this result. Okay, and here I'm going to console log the value of match.length. Okay, finally, let's copy this, go back to this BBC website and run the code. And now I'm getting the number 8, which means there are 8 elements on this page which have this red color. Since this is not too large of a number, I can also manually check this. So this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth element, and there's going to be another 2, 7th and 8th. And if I've done this correctly, that's all that I should get here. So it seems like this code is working. To confirm that this really works, we could take a different computed style property and test it again. So let's say this time I can maybe get a computed style of a specific part of the website. So let's say I do something like this, let footer, and I'm going to set it equal to, or I'm going to save into the footer variable, the result of document dot query selector, and I'm hoping they have a footer as an element somewhere in this web page. And now I'm going to get computed style. Sorry about that. So get computed style of footer. And luckily, we do have a result here. So we got a returned object of type CSS style declaration with a bunch of entries right here. So that's a good sign. And what I want to do here, I want to choose a computer style property, for example, display. So let's now find all the elements on the page that have the display property computed to flex. So let's go back here, and we're going to have to actually go back to VS Code because it's going to be easier to code this solution. So I'm going to say the following. Let all elements, oh, actually, we already have that, so we're not going to repeat ourselves. But let's go through the code here and just make sure that we've got everything sorted. So this line is good. This line is also good. We're matching for an element whose computed style is display, and that display and that computed style is double equal to flex. So we're going to type flex right here. We don't need these round brackets right now. And now we can return this result. And now when I try to console log the match, the length of the match, let's see what we're going to get. So right now we are getting 90 items whose computer property is set of display is set to flex. So that's it. There you have it. With this technique, you can count the number of occurrences of any specific value for a given computed CSS style property on any part of a web page or on the entire current web page that you're visiting.